Hi guys, welcome. It's Amy with Stage Right Soap. I know it's been a couple weeks since I was last able to post, but I hope in the meantime you have been finding ways to relax and to mentally recharge and to find your center. Especially this year, it is just so important to find those moments. And of course, for me, one of the ways I do that is through creating and making soap. And thank you for allowing me to share that with you. So this week's offering is based on a show that it's not necessarily a kids show. It's more geared towards young adults and older, just because it deals with some heavier themes and some more difficult moments. But it is a beautiful, beautiful musical with a great message. And I am talking about Tale of Two Cities. So the soap we did is inspired by the overarching themes, one of the overarching themes within the show, which is the idea of redemption and being able to change from one extreme to another, or even if you're not dealing with extremes, being able to change from where you are to where you could be. And that idea of being able to progress and to become more than what your past was is a beautiful thought to me, and I love the idea behind it. And this musical particular is one that my baby sister and I really both love and enjoy and bond over. In fact, easily one of us will start off with, "What was that? Where did all those stars come from?" And it's just a beautiful moment that just takes us back to when we first got to see it together. So I know I say I love all my soaps, or at least it sounds that way. I do. Some of them don't turn out quite how I wish they would. But this one particularly, I could not be more pleased. It is exactly how I envisioned it. The color, the technique, the theme, the smell, everything about it is just so perfectly balanced to me, and it's just what I wanted it to be. And it may end up being my favorite offering of the 2021 season. We'll have to see for sure, but it's going to be hard to unseat this one. We'll see how it goes. So, with no further ado, please enjoy the making of Redemption. Now, for this soap, we are going to be doing a gradient coloring, which means it goes from one color and slowly transitions into another color. It kind of signifies that change. And when I first thought of the colors to use, I thought, oh, I could go from black to white, and you have all those shades of gray in the middle. But that felt just a little bit on the nose. So we decided today, the royal we, decided today, I'm gonna start with my darker color is going to be this, it's sky blue, believe it or not, but it has some black mica in there as well to kind of make it just a little bit darker. And that is going to transition into this bright yellow at the top. Now, so those are our two. And we'll have, hopefully, some shades of green in the middle because blue and yellow make green. Now, I confess, I have never made an ombre or a gradient soap before. This is all brand new. I'm very excited to try it. But when I thought of Tale of Two Cities and this idea of change and redemption, it was just, that's what it needed. That's what it called for. So that's what we're headed with. Now, in contrast to the soap, or excuse me, to the coloring, which is a little more complex, I am doing a very clean, I wanted a very clean, almost one-note scent. I didn't want anything overly fussy. So we're going with Litsia cubeba, which is actually an essential oil, not a fragrance oil. I usually use fragrance oils because there's just more variety. They tend to be a little bit cheaper sometimes. And I like the complexity of them. Essential oils, especially this one. Like I said, I just wanted something that's very stark and very kind of in your face, straightforward, and didn't have a lot of complexity to the scent. And this is somewhere between a lemon and a lime. It's a citrusy scent. So I'm very excited to use this. I hope it behaves well. I've not used this one before. So this should be able to be done in one take. Once we get pouring, there's no waiting for layers to set up. In fact, we need to actually pour relatively quickly so that our layers don't set up in between pouring. So we're just gonna dive right in. I've got my oils here. They are all pre-mixed. I've got my lye water. It is also pre-mixed. And you can see I am suited up for safety. In order to do this, I've got the camera on the opposite side that I normally do, so I will try not to block you. Let's quick mix. Beautiful. Now, unlike the last 2 videos we've done, we're not portioning this out yet. Everything goes in the one pot. That off to the side. I tell you that essential oil smells so good in my kitchen. And I want to mix just enough to bring the soap together. I don't want this to go into a very thick trace at all because, again, we need it really runny in order for this to work out well. This is a recipe that lends itself well to runniness. Although I did change it just a bit. I am using lard today instead of palm oil. I think I switched out because lard is whiter and it gives you a nice good base. So, but that shouldn't increase my trace too much, if at all. Okay, so that's mixed. We are going to split this just in half. Yeah, we'll start about 400. There should be more than that, but take it up to 600. 600. Ooh, moving all the way to 700. Let's try this one. 700. And you know this last little tiny bit of white? You know what? I'm actually gonna put it in this one. Oh, sorry, again. Camera's on the opposite side. There's a reason for that. I'll show you when I go to pour. So I will try not to block you. I'm gonna put that little bit extra. This one over here is going to end up being my yellow. And I gotta tell you, this yellow, it's Buttercup Mica, and I absolutely adore it because when you first pour it, it goes a bright orange. Probably won't do that today. It's when it sits overnight, it goes bright orange, and then it settles back into this yellow color. But it's like a magic trick. It's fabulous. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do this. I'm gonna mix in my blue. I'm just gonna mix it in a couple different batches here instead of all at once. You can always add more, but it is relatively difficult to take stuff out. I'm being facetious. It's pretty much impossible once you put color in to take it back out. So, but I do want this to be a fairly solid blue. I don't want it to be black. If I wanted black, I would have used black. It's nice and thin and beautiful. See how runny that all is. I think that's good. I usually do 2 batches. I might on the second batch add a little more black, but we'll see. Again, I didn't want it to be a black soap. I wanted it to be blue. Now, I'm not gonna add the yellow to this one quite yet because I'm actually gonna do the first couple pours with just the white. So it's gonna go really quick white, then yellow, and then into the blue. So, the other thing that would be important to do is to add in our fragrance oil. Again, this should behave, I should say, really well. So I've really got my fingers crossed. We're just gonna eyeball it, put half in each. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to kind of set that off to the side. My other whisk out here. Okay, pour the other half the fragrance oil into what will be my yellow. I'm going to mix it in really well. Now I should just move my utensil plate over to this side so I'm not trying to cross over myself so much. Okay, I feel like that's probably a good start place. So we're going to pour this on an angle. So I'm using this mold to just kind of prop up my other mold. I think that's giving you a good view of how this is going to go down. Oh, hang on, I have some leftover soap bits. How embarrassing. Momentarily. Beautiful. There we go, much prettier. So, and I am just going to pour as much as I can down the wall of the soap over here. And hopefully not pour it too much on my counter. But you know, ooh, that's gonna be so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple passes of that white. And we're going to pour that yellow in. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That more into your old picture. I absolutely love it. See, it's already turning fairly orange when you compare that to what was in the... It's just, it will turn back to this color. But it is one of my favorite micas. It is just fun and gorgeous. Okay, and we're just going to pour it pretty much as steady as we can right over that other one, down the wall. Okay, now here comes the fun part, as much as we can. So now I'm going to start to mix. I'm not going to be able to see all of this, but I've got my blue in my hand here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, which is just an arbitrary number, but I just want to make sure each time I add blue, I am paying attention to how much blue I'm putting in there. The key to a really pretty gradient, in my opinion, is just very gradual coloring. So 1, 2, 3, and I just made a mess on my counter. That's okay. I promise there will be more messes to come. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoops, that was a little more this time. And I'm mixing that blue in with my yellow to make a slightly darker color each time. 2, 3. One, two, three. Maybe one more, half of one. One, two, three. Where is my spatula? Scrape out the bottom of this dark stormy blue. Oh my gosh, that cubeba, whew, it smells so good. We'll have to use that one again. Slowly right on top. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go to 4. And I kind of feel like the mold is super full at this point. Oh, I don't want to do too much of that. I'm trying to knock some of those air bubbles out, but I would rather have a few air bubbles than have overly, I think it was smushed, overly combined colorants. And I did make a little bit extra on this particular batch. So messy. So I'm going to go ahead and we're not going to do any kind of texturing on the top of this one. I feel like this one, again, needs to be really kind of stark and straightforward and not mess with them up too much. I'm afraid if I do texturing, it's just going to start mixing the colors, which is kind of totally the opposite of everything we just tried to accomplish. So that's where I'm going to leave this one. It will be different, and that's okay. We like different. So I will clean up my mess, put this one to bed, and we'll be back in probably, I'm thinking 2 days to cut it. I will probably poke at it tomorrow just because, like I said, I'm not very patient. But there you go. And I will see you then. All right, welcome back, you guys. It's about 2 days later. This recipe is so soft still. I probably should leave this bar alone for at least a couple more days. But I am so excited to see how these bars cut that, I'm willing to risk it. I think I can handle it without it being so soft and damagey. And I'm just too excited. And if I have to make more batches, I totally will. But this is how we're looking so far. So this is the top. When we poured it, this is the top, but in reality, this is the bottom. So we poured it top to bottom last time. Yellow will end up on the top of the bar. Unless you want your blue on the top of the bar and then just flip the bar over. But that's how our blue settled out. You can see those colors on the side there as the gradient out. And you can see this yellow is very much back to being yellow. We do have a couple interesting places where you can still see a lot of the more orange than the yellow. But I am so excited and it smells so good. So we are going to cut this. And I am not going to regret my decision to cut it early, because I would totally be more than willing to remake this batch if needed. But I am so excited. Let's see. Okay, here is your moment of quiet to breathe. Big breath in, and here we go. Welcome back. So do you see what I mean? It was so hard to leave the soap in the mold. Even as long as I did, I still unmolded them way sooner than I should have, but I was so eager to see how the colors came together and how that gradient worked. Beautiful, beautiful, so pleased. Um, the color has since been able to continue to meld and chill, and it's moved from the kind of that mossy green orange combination back to a stormy blue to yellow gradient. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Smells fabulous, fantastic. If you are into citrus scents at all, this is going to be the bar you want. I do have the next soap planned. I hope to get the video up a little bit faster than I did this round. But you know, some days just don't go as planned. And that's okay. So, until I see you next time, I hope you have a fabulous day, week, whatever. Take some time to yourself to mentally refresh and to just enjoy the quiet. And I will see you next time.